See this $50 Raspberry Pi? What if I told you it can replace your Google Drive, Google Photos, Netflix, and much more, all for free and running on your own hardware at your own home and no one is tracking, no subscription fees and nothing. And we are going to manage everything using Umbrel OS, which is one of the best solutions for everyone who wants to start with self-hosting. It's free, open source, and have a huge app store. Not only this, I will also show you how to connect it to NetBird so you can access your stuff wherever you are. Whether you are on vacation in Vietnam, at home, at school, at work, it doesn't matter at all. So talking is cheap, let's get started. Alright, first let's start with the hardware. First you will need a Raspberry Pi like this one. I am using a Raspberry Pi 4 which has 2GB of RAM, but you can get yourself a more powerful one like the Raspberry Pi 5. Now because of the high prices right now, I will stick with the Raspberry Pi 4. You will also need a micro SD card for storage. I'm using a 64GB one, but you can get yourself the one you need. You will also need a USB-C power supply, an Ethernet cable, and ideally a case for your Raspberry Pi. Now I am using this bad boy, which also has a small fan inside it. I will show you. And this is how it looks like. So you plug blue here, red here, and black here. Now we are ready to install the OS. So insert your SD card in your PC and get started. And we need to download two things. First I will download the Umbrel OS itself. So I will type Umbrel OS and go to their GitHub repository. Scroll down a little bit and go to releases. Scroll down. And here are the bad boys you are looking for. If you have a normal AMD PC, go with this. This one is for Raspberry Pi 4, which is the one I have. If you have a Raspberry Pi 5, just go with this. So I will download this one. And it's downloading. Now to the next tool we have to download, it's called Balena Etcher. So go to their website, Balena Etcher. This is it. And this is the website of Balena Etcher. Now Balena Etcher is a tool to flash the OS on your SD card. So I will go to download. Select your OS. So I will go with Red Hat. And I will go to GitHub release page. This is the one for Red Hat. So I will click on it.
A few moments later.
Both bad boys are now downloaded. So I will install Balena Etcher first. Just double click on it. And install. Let's minimize this one. Now you have to unzip Umbrel OS. Just right click here and extract. That was fast. Now open up Balena Etcher. Flash from file. Select the image file. Here you can select your SD card. Make sure you have selected the right one because Balena Etcher will delete everything inside it. So select and flash. Flash completed, so close Balena Etcher and eject the 3 partitions of the SD card. Now we are ready for the action. Just plug this bad boy in your Raspberry Pi and you are good to go. And the power supply comes here and your Ethernet cable here. Now for sure the other end goes to your home router. So I will do this and come back to you. My Raspberry Pi is now connected, you can see it here. And now we have to find its IP address. For this I will install a tool called Angry IP Address. So let's do this together. Here I will type Angry IP, or it's called Angry IP Scanner actually. Download and download. Again here you have Windows, Shitos and Linux. So I will go with RPM and install. It's taking ages to install. Why don't you just subscribe and hit a like till it's downloaded? I mean, it costs you nothing. Just do it. And see, now it's installed. It takes you like really 1 second I think. So let's open it. It already detected the IP range, so start. Let's sort by port. Umbrel OS should have the port 80 open, so I think this is it for me. I will copy the IP address. Copy IP. Paste it in the web browser. And make sure to use HTTP, so without the S here. And Umbrel OS is now installed. Make sure to create a DHCP reservation for your Raspberry Pi, because else the Raspberry Pi may get a new IP address after a reboot. If you don't know how to do that, I will leave you a link in the description box. And start. My name today is Lanzo, because this bad boy was my first subscriber. And the password. Create. And next. And welcome home. Look how beautiful the UI is. Here you have your desktop, or webtop, do they call it? You know, it's not a desktop, it's a web app. I don't know. Here you have your home, let's say. And here you have your app store. And you have a ton of apps. I mean, really a ton of apps. Here you will find everything you need. And you will also find things you will never need. You can see it has Ollama here. I mean, you can install your own AI chatbot on your Raspberry Pi. Don't expect much, but it's here. You have really anything you need here. You have Immich, you have Tailscale. OpenCloud is also here. Things I don't know and I will never use, I think. You have Vaultwarden if you want to run custom Docker containers. So I mean ones that aren't in the App Store here. You have Home Assistant here, Nextcloud for sure, Jellyfin, and everything. Now let's start installing some bad boys. First I will go with Nextcloud. So I will click on install and start telling you what it does. See this bad boy? This is your alternative to Google Drive, Google Photos, Google Calendar, Google Contacts, Google Notes, and Google To Do. I don't know if there is anything like Google To Do's and Google Notes, but Nextcloud can do this. All for free and running on your home server or Raspberry Pi. While it's downloading, let's go back here and I will install Immich, which is the alternative of Google Photos. So here you have some photos of it. As you can see, it's really look very similar to Google Photos. You can also add geo-info to each photo. I mean, they will get auto-detected. You can share photos and stuff. You have your albums here and photos. Let's close this. And here we have Jellyfin, which is your Netflix at home. I mean, you can really just download movies and save them on it. And then you can stream them on your smartphone, smart TV, and even your smart fridge if you have one. So I will close this and install. We also have Home Assistant here if you want this. So using this you can manage your smart home devices. And they have really many integrations like Apple TV you can see here. And really many things. Now I will also install AdGuard here. Let's see if they have it here. AdGuard. Oh, it's here. Pi-hole is also here. So I will go with AdGuard and install. AdGuard is a DNS level ad blocker, which means it will block all ads on your home network. I have a full video on it. Make sure to give it a shot. Let's actually see how many apps they have. Here I will go to all apps. And look how many apps. They have really many of apps here. Oh my god, my Raspberry Pi will be filled out in 10 minutes. Just go through the apps and install the ones you need. And Vaultwarden, I was looking for it. And the apps are installed now. Vaultwarden is still downloading, I think. So let's say what Umbrel have here. We have a file browser, your documents, downloads, photos, and videos. So right now I'm inside my home. Here I can select apps. And these are the data directory of the apps. So here I have Nextcloud, for example, data, and here you can do really anything you want. Here we have to edit a file, but we will do this later. So let's close this. And here you have your settings. Let's change the wallpaper first. I like this one. So here you can just log out, restart, shut down, change name and password, change wallpaper. So you can connect your Raspberry Pi to Wi-Fi network if you just don't want to use cable for any reason. Here you can configure 2FA login. And very important, really very important, backups. Because if you are self-hosting and not doing backups, you are doing this wrong. I mean, you can't trust your SD card with holding all your data. I recommend making backup to external SSD drive or even HDD and just run it on regular basis. Here you have Migration Assistant. We don't need this now. Some troubleshoot infos, device infos, and advanced settings. I like this. You can open the terminal from here. And you can opt into Umbrel OS beta program. Use Cloudflare DNS, so just changing the DNS IP. Here on the left you have some information, so how much storage in use, memory, and CPU. So you see here the CPU temperature now is on 70 Celsius. The reason is I haven't plugged in the fan actually, and it's just because I'm lazy. And here we have live usage. Now stop right there. Don't make my mistake. I overloaded my Raspberry Pi 4 with many Docker containers. And you know the Raspberry Pi 4 isn't that powerful. I mean, in compared to Raspberry Pi 5, so it stopped working. I couldn't do anything in the web UI, it was showing as offline, and I couldn't even connect to SSH. So I made a reboot, connect to SSH before all the Docker containers started, and stopped all of them, and uninstalled many of the Docker containers. Now I only left Nextcloud and Vaultwarden. So just to be clear, the Raspberry Pi 4 isn't as powerful as Raspberry Pi 5, so just take this in consideration. And now I have only 2 Docker containers as I told you before. So let's continue with live usage. So here you see the system is using 23% of the CPU, 600 MB of the memory, and storage 3.5 GB. And right now I have about 900 MB RAM. So let's close this. And here you have your widgets. There is no many widgets here, so you have live usage, storage, memory, and overview. I think this doesn't make sense because here you can already see how many storage you still have. So I will remove this and I will add files here. And I don't have any files. Okay. Let's try to open Nextcloud. Here are the default credentials, so I will copy the password and open. Nextcloud is telling me I am accessing through untrusted domain. Now I told you before there is a file you have to edit in Nextcloud to be able to access it. So I will go back to Umbrel and Files, Apps, Nextcloud. I think it's under Data, Nextcloud, and Config. And this is it. It's called config PHP. Alright, I can't open it, so let's do this in the terminal. I will connect to it using my own terminal, because if you use the one under settings, you won't be able to save stuff if you are using nano, using Ctrl and O. So let's do this. Type SSH, for username type Umbrel, at the IP address. And for password, just type the password you have created for your UI user. So I will enter it. So let's edit the file, type nano, Umbrel, app data, Nextcloud, add data, Nextcloud one more time, config, config.php. And you have to enter sudo. So one more time with sudo. Let's scroll down here. And this is what we are looking for. We are looking for trusted domains, which means only these domains or IP addresses can access Nextcloud. I will create a new entry here. It will get the number 1. And here just enter the IP address of your Umbrel OS. So for me it's 10.23.12.126. And don't forget this bad boy. And if you want to add your domain later, you can just type number 2 here, is, and the domain name you want to use. So I will enter cloud.libredata.org. So now I told Nextcloud, this is your IP address, and if someone tried to talk to you using this IP, you can answer to them. And the same for this domain. You can also add another IP address if you have one. So let's save, just type Ctrl O and Ctrl X to exit. Now let's go back to Nextcloud and a refresh. And now it's working as you can see. Let's get the password one more time. Show default credentials and copy. Umbrel and the password. And Nextcloud is working now. Let's close this bad boy. And as you can see, it's working and you can create files, delete files, and do everything you need. Now I won't go you through how to configure Nextcloud, Vaultwarden, or Immich, because I already have separate videos for these. I will link them in the description box. But now, let's do the most important thing, how to access your stuff from outside your home network. For this I will use NetBird, which is free and open source. So let's do this together. This is the website of NetBird, just click on Get Started. And here you can log in or create an account. So I will create one. This is my email and the password. Alright, I'm not a business, so I will go with personal. And I heard about them from GitHub. And I want to use it for file access and home remote access. You don't have to configure this, just go to skip to dashboard. Alright, now we are under peers. And peers are devices that you can use to access to and from NetBird devices, which means your smartphone, your laptop, your server, your Raspberry Pi, Umbrel, and everything. So I will click on add peer, and here you can just select your OS and install it. So I will copy this. It's installed, so now you have to start it and do the authentication. Just type NetBird up. Copy this bad boy. And enter. And accept. Okay, now I have installed NetBird on my PC. It also have a GUI app, so you don't have to enter the terminal every time. Let's go back to the peers. Close this bad boy. And here you can see, this is my PC now. And I will give you a pro tip here. Select your PC. And disable session expiration. Because else you have to enter the password every several days. And I will go back. Now to the most important step. Let's install it on Umbrel. So I will open up the App Store. And search for NetBird. Here it is. And install. Alright, let's open it. It's running, so let's click on this link to authenticate. And confirm. It's connected, so let's see what's under peers now. Refresh. And here it is. So I will do the same here, open it, and disable session expiration. And here you can see, this is the NetBird IP address of my Umbrel server. Now let's do the final thing. We have to tell NetBird that this PC can access this Umbrel server. For this you have to go to access control and policies. So there is this default policy, I will delete it. And I will go to add policy. For source I will select peers. The source is my desktop, which is called Geary, so this one. And destination is peers and Umbrel. Here you can select which ports you want to use, so you can go with TCP and specify the ports here, but I will go with everything. Now go to name and description, and I will call it Hello to Umbrel. And add. Now on my desktop, I will just type NetBird up. Okay, I'm already connected. And as I told you before, you can do this using the GUI app. Now I'm connected, which means I should be able to access my Umbrel OS. So I will go to peers, copy the IP address. Let's paste it here. And here you just have to go with HTTP. And now it's reachable. Now for sure it will also work if you are outside your home network. I will enter the password. And we are in. But if I click on Nextcloud, as you can see, it won't work because we have to add the IP address just like we have did before. So let's do this. I will copy this IP. SSH. So just like before, you have to edit this file. And here I will add the new IP address. Ctrl-O to save and Ctrl-X to exit. And now if I do a refresh here, as you can see, it's working now. And that's it for today. Just like I told you before, don't make my mistake and install everything on your Raspberry Pi 4. Because the Raspberry Pi 4 isn't that powerful. So maybe if you have a Raspberry Pi 5 with like 4 or 8 GB of RAM, you can install more stuff on it. My Raspberry Pi is now running Nextcloud, Vaultwarden, and Immich at the same time. And I have no problems. If you want a part 2 on how to access your stuff using your own .com domain, let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. This is Libre-Data, and we are just getting started. See you in the next time.